This is the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest coordinate, this passage is 21 miles wide. It is one of the most heavily monitored, strategically significant intersections on the planet. That tiny geographic pinch point carries 20% of the world's oil supply. In economic terms, it functions as the jugular vein of the global energy market. Because of these stakes, the modern world views this water entirely through a transactional lens. It is seen as a geopolitical chessboard, defined by the movement of these industrial supervessels. But looking only at the surface ignores the environment supporting it. Directly beneath the hulls of those tankers lies an untouched 600-million-year-old sanctuary, where life has adapted to survive some of the most extreme conditions on Earth. The actual architecture of the strait is defined by 600 million years of geological movement. These ancient pressures laid claim to this territory long before the first patrol boat arrived, and they continue to dictate the terms of survival here today. Hormuz Island exists as a massive 600-million-year-old salt dome, a geological mass that bleeds 70 distinct shades of minerals into the sea. Its strategic position is a byproduct of its physical structure. The environment is so intense, locals integrate the island's geology into their bodies. The surface is covered in crimson iron oxide called shellac, a soil harvested, crushed, and kneaded into local bread to nourish the community. Nearby, on Kesh Island, the indigenous Bandari people inhabit a landscape of salt caves and canyons sculpted by the wind. The women wear these mysterious boar masks, a cultural statement of survival in an environment that allows for no fragility. Their mastery of the strait is evident in the construction of lenje boats. These massive wooden vessels are built by hand without blueprints, utilizing ancient maritime knowledge to navigate the highly saline waters of the Gulf. The Bandari culture remains intact because their technology and traditions are an extension of the island's primordial structure, functioning completely independent of the modern oil economy. Larak Island reflects a different reality. Positioned at the throat of the strait, it serves as an impenetrable military outpost, tasked with monitoring the global flow of energy. Fortified underground bunkers and a network of surveillance radars occupy the island's parched sandstone surface, sweeping the ocean day and night. But as night falls over the island, that militarized image completely fades. Millions of microorganisms awaken in the waves, turning the dark shoreline into a floating galaxy of neon blue bioluminescence that crashes rhythmically against the cliffs. Further out on Lavon Island, towering distillation columns and orange gas flares cast a mechanical glow over the coast. Beneath these steel blocks, the environment remains active. Elegant wild gazelles roam the sandy shores, and deep-sea hawksbill turtles return to nest within the shadow of the industrial noise. Nature does not retreat from these aggressive war and industrial machines. It simply absorbs them, coexisting in a parallel rhythm of survival. Shidvar Island is often compared to the Maldives for its turquoise reefs and white mineral sand. On the surface, it appears to be a pristine, untouched gem. Locals avoid these shores, calling the place Maru, or Snake Island. Beneath the arid, thorny bushes and the white sand is the kingdom of the saw-scaled viper, one of the most venomous predators on Earth. This deadly population actually creates an unintentional biological security system. The lethal presence of the vipers establishes a no-man's land that effectively locks out human infrastructure and tourism. Because humans cannot settle here, Shidvar has become a primordial sanctuary. While shipping lanes hum with engines nearby, thousands of migratory birds and nesting sea turtles reproduce here in total, venom-protected silence. To see the result of ignoring these environmental boundaries, we have to look north, to Lake Ormia. Its current state reveals what happens when human engineering attempts to override the natural logic of a landscape. Years of river diversion and the construction of a massive highway bisecting the lakebed have pushed salinity to fatal levels. This triggered a bloom of microalgae that dyed the remaining water blood red against a shoreline of crystallized salt. Commercial cargo ships and ferries that once operated here are now rotting in a salt desert, stranded kilometers away from the receding water. The desiccated landscape serves as a record of human error. specifically the decision to ignore the inherent balance of the basin. When infrastructure is built without regard for the underlying geology, the result is a collapse that no industrial fix can reverse. Back in the Persian Gulf, the rusting steel megaliths of past eras are already being devoured by the ocean. The billion-dollar concrete hotels, the radar bunkers, and the oil pipelines are merely a fragile layer of sediment on the Earth's timeline. Long after our geopolitical calculations end and the oil economy fades, the Strait of Hormuz will belong only to the ocean, proud, unforgiving, and immortal.